I could probably film this on my phone and it would be a lot better quality, but I also would look a lot uglier since the camera flips. Hello everyone! Yes, it has been a very long time since I've seen you, and that's because I've been super busy, but also because there's been no RuPaul's Drag Race to talk about. Until now! RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8 cast list has now been revealed. Well, most of it. There's only 12 queens that have been revealed, and usually there's 14 queens that are participating. This is the shortest amount of queens that have participated in the Drag Race since Season 2, which leads me to believe that there may be 2 queens who they're holding out on us. However, we do know of 12 queens right now, and I thought, why not make a video talking about the 12 queens and what I know about them and just some guesses that I have about how far each of them will make it, and give you some little reviews about their looks and performances and their abilities, and you can make your own judges. I don't know a lot about every single queen. I did a little bit of research. Most of this information is coming from YouTube videos, Instagram accounts, and the Meet Your Queen videos that they filmed for Logo. So this isn't 100% sure, and I'm sure that my opinions on some of these queens will change a little bit as I get to watch the show a little bit more. However, just right now, this is all that I'm going off of, so bear with me and I am going to review some of these queens. The first queen that I have is Acid Betty, and she is probably a very big fan favorite. She has really great looks, but I've seen some of her performances and they lack a lot of energy, and she's not the best dancer from what I've seen. She's also the oldest queen this season, and in the past, the older queens tend to go home really early. However, I do believe that she has a very strong chance of winning the first challenge, and that's because it's a sewing challenge, and Acid Betty can pull off some very amazing looks. So she might just win that challenge. However, in the past, the person who's won the first challenge usually is the winner of the entire thing, but that can always change. The next queen that I'm going to be talking about is Bob the Drag Queen, and let me just say right now that she will be in the top 3, no doubt, possibly even the winner. I'd known about Bob for a little bit. I had been doing some research about who might be on Season 8 for a while, and I really doubted Bob, and everyone said that she was probably on Season 8, and I was like, well, I might as well get a jump start, and I looked up some of her stuff, and she is hilarious. She may be one of the funniest queens since Bianca Del Rio's land on the show. She has amazing looks, she's hilarious, her lip syncs are legendary, so whoever has to lip sync against her, if she does lip sync, they're probably going to be sent home. Bob is a great performer, no doubt, and I have no doubts at all that Bob will not make it to the top 3, and if she doesn't, then she will win Miss Congeniality. However, she will make it to the top 3, and she will take the crown home. The next queen is Derrick Barry, and a lot of people are like, she's a Britney impersonator, I don't really see a lot going for her. But like, it takes a lot of balls to be a Britney impersonator, you know what I mean? Like, not everyone can just get up on stage and lip sync as good as Britney can. Not only that, but she also has very good dance skills, and she can also lip sync the roof off of the house. So I'm guessing that she will make it quite far in the competition. But besides all of that, she's also already an established queen that a lot of people already know about, such as Courtney Act, which leads me to believe that she might get the Courtney Act edit on the show and make it to the top 3. The next queen that I have is Kim Chi, and Kim Chi is just so freaking amazing. She has really great looks. She's like best friends with Trixie Mattel, who obviously I love a lot and who like started me to make YouTube videos. So Kim Chi has amazing visuals. She's super witty. She has great looks. She can kind of lack some energy in her performances. However, if she plays it right on the show, she might not have to perform that much. And if they do a lot of sewing challenges this season, she might make it very far. She's in my dream top 3, but I'm afraid that she's not going to make it too far. I feel like she might get kicked off way too early and we won't be able to see her potential, but maybe around All Stars 3 she'll be able to make it back on the season. But I really do hope that she makes it to the top 3 because I do love me some Kim Chi. The next queen I'm talking about is Naomi Smalls, and when I first saw the cast list get revealed, I saw her and I looked at her look and I was like, she's going to be the first to go home. And then I did my research, and Naomi Smalls is young, she's fishy, she has stunning looks, she has high fashion editorial looks, which I die for. I have a feeling she's going to make it very far in the season because I've seen her with a lot of other queens interacting with them, so I'm guessing she's also very nice and easy to get along with, and that she will be very great on the show. She's extremely fierce, but she also can kind of lack energy. However, once again, she might not need a lot of energy for her performances if she can pull it right. The next queen that I'm talking about is Thor, and despite her having one of the best names this season, she also has unique looks. She's very high energy, she's funny, and she's a fierce lip syncer, and she is super campy, which I really love in a drag queen. I don't know if she'll make it to the top 3 necessarily, but I do believe she'll make it far in the competition, and she might even be Miss Congeniality of this season. She's very funny, she's very experienced, and I'm very excited to see more from her. The next queen on my list is Robbie Turner, and she is the all-around Seattle queen, which I do love the Seattle style of drag since it's very vintage and it's high fashion, but I feel like we've seen it a lot on the show already, which is why I don't think that she'll be the winner. She has a very creative style of drag, which I haven't seen too often, but I have seen it enough to know that it has been repeated before. I feel like she still has a lot to learn and that she might not necessarily win the season. However, she is very funny, she's very witty, and I do hope that she makes it far, but I just see too much of other queens in her that I don't think that she's enough to bring the cunt to this competition. Next on my list is Dax! And when I saw Dax, I wasn't too impressed, and then I learned that she's Violet's drag mother, and you know what? If you can be the mother of a past winner, then you can probably pull out some very amazing stunts too. But from what I've seen of her, she is very low energy, but I haven't seen too much of her, so hopefully she can come onto the show and prove me wrong and really just wow me. The next person that I'm talking about is Cynthia Lee Fontaine, and she's the Latin queen this season. She's from Puerto Rico, and she looks like she's a Latin queen for sure. She's super fishy, but from what I've seen of her performances, she lacks some energy. However, those Latin queens usually do bring a lot of energy to the show, so I might be wrong. I don't know too much about her, but I'm hoping that she can really just bring some competition and bring some drama to Untucked, especially because I really miss the drama of Untucked. The next queen I'm talking about is Chi Devayne, and I really could not find a lot about her, but she seems funny, and she also could have some nice drama, which is nice, because I really like it when there's a lot of drama on the show. And last year, there wasn't a lot of drama, and I feel like that's why we thought it was such a bore, but this season looks like it could be full of a lot of drama if they keep the right people on and they keep the right alliances formed. I know that that's not what the show is necessarily about, but it is nice to have a little bit of drama added to this drag queen show. The next queen I'm talking about is Layla Mcqueen, and she's young, but she also is very reminiscent of other queens such as Katya and Adore, and although I do love those two other queens, I don't know how far she's going to make it into the competition. She has Katya's sense of humor, and she's very funny and performs a lot like Katya from what I've seen. And she has Adore's sense of style where she just puts on leggings and a big coat and she's like punk about it, which is nice, but you know, you really have to be Adore to pull that off, or you really have to be Katya to pull that off. But I didn't see too much about Layla yet, so I'm hoping that she'll be really funny and nice energy to have on the show, and we'll see how far she can make it. The last queen that I'm going to be talking about is Negishi Lopez, and she's the pageant girl this season, and just like all the other pageant girls, she seems like she's very fishy and full of drama. She seemed like she could be very nice though from what I've seen, but she does have that pageant personality, which can be sometimes troublesome on the show, but that's okay. She's very full of herself, but that's not a bad thing. I'm also very full of myself, so that's nice to see. And I've seen her lip sync performances, and she is an amazing lip syncer. From what I've seen, she just boots the house down with all of her amazing lip sync talents and dance moves. So I'm really hoping that she can bring a lot of energy to the show. She might even be the queen this season that lip syncs a lot and sends other queens home. So we'll see how that turns out. But for now, that's all I have. That's all the drag queens that have been revealed. There still hasn't been a big girl revealed for this season, but I feel like they're still holding out on 1 or 2 queens. And I do find it very weird that they don't have a big queen on the season, since they usually have one on every season. So maybe that's what they're holding out on. Maybe they're bringing another queen back. Maybe this really is all that they're having this season. But until the first episode starts, I probably won't be making another video. However, I do plan on making a video for every single episode this year, and just reviewing my thoughts about it and my thoughts about the queens. And I will probably give you a top 3 countdown every single week as to who I think will be in the top 3. As for right now, my dream top 3 is Kim Chi, Bob the Drag Queen, and Derek Barry. However, I'm very hesitant on that. I feel like Naomi Smalls could kick Kim Chi out of that. But for now, that is my dream top 3. Once we learn more about the queens and see the first episode, we'll hopefully get better predictions about who the top 3 will be. Yeah, that's all I'm talking about this week. So leave a little comment down below about who you think will be the top 3 this season, or who you think the winner will be. And until the first episode starts, I probably won't be making another video unless they release more queens. So, au revoir. Grown in a different way than you have. And that's not something that's bad, it's just that you're not the same people anymore, and you need to acknowledge that, and you shouldn't be